All right, Shalom Akim, Shalom, Shalom, Lahab Quorum. This is your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, coming with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord willing, this be edifying to the Lord's elect. All right, before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Ruchak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwat that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith, remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, to you Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations, but your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. I want to say peace and blessings to you all, Barak Thumb. All right, and this is indeed according to your lineage. All right, let's begin with this. I got a video that I want to share with you, all right, from the beloved brother, okay? His YouTube channel is Arrows of Indignation, all right? And let's do this. Let's go here. Slocky. It's just a quick lesson, you know what I'm saying, before I go into before I go to head out to hold camp. I'm trying to find this Salaki. Damn it, I forgot what it's at. Let's go to Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18. I believe that's where it's at. All right, Con. So this is Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18. It says, "And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls." All right, there's a reason why our forefathers, our ancestors, you know what I'm saying, they focused so heavily on lineage. You see what I'm saying? They focused heavily on pedigrees. Okay, when you would hold marriages, they would be focused on what? They would be focused on inheritances. You know what I'm saying? So let's see real quick. Bear with me. I want to get that word for pedigree. All right. Salaki, bear with me. Trying to hurry this up because apparently there's supposed to be another storm that's coming. Today, Sunday, today's the 22nd. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get out there, you know what I'm saying, get the work in before the storm hits. All right, so the word for pedigree in the Hebrew is yalad. All right, yalad, meaning to bear, to bring forth, to beget. Okay. So, also to be born of childbirth. Okay. So your lineage according to your birthright. Now, these Amalekites, okay, who are coming in the spirit of Cain, all right, they are in that vagabond spirit right now, where they're constantly, okay, trying to hide who they are. They're trying to hide where they're from. You see what I'm saying? All right, where they're being traced back to Europe, they're being, Eurasia. They're being traced back to Khazaria, you know what I'm saying, which is in modern day Ukraine. And in actual fact, because that will lead the people to the truth, man, which is right here in the scriptures. Their lineage, okay, their homeland, I should say, is in Mount Petra. Okay, in the ancient times, is known as Mount Seir. Okay, all of these Edomites go there. Okay, your average Edomite that's at the the Independence Day party. You know what I'm saying? Eating a hot dog. The from 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 the average 6-pack, beer drinking Edomite to what? To the Amalekites. You see what I'm saying? Those who call themselves JOOs, they are of the house of Edom. They just happen to be from different tribes. You see what I'm saying? And they all originate from Mount Seir, which is today Petra, Jordan. Okay? So let's listen to this video real quick. Bear with me.
Abram's descendants are the ones who have the right to have this land, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we do genetic testing on everybody in the land and find out who Abram's descendants are? It's really simple. We've cracked the human genome. We can do that. Why don't we do that? Would you be against doing that?
I have no idea what that would prove. I mean,
Really?
maybe it would be.
What do you mean? It would prove who Abram's descendants are and who has a right to live here and who doesn't, according to the theology that you yourself just explained. And so I'm very confused as to why we don't do that. If you believe the theology that you've just explained to me.
Would we do that all over the world?
Well,
and everybody
this is the
would-
only
would
country in the
Brits?
world that you've said has this covenant with God, that this people have a moral and legal right to the land.
What about
And
people
so-
who convert to Judaism? Would they have a right?
Well, you've just said
I mean,
that
there are
it's not.
You see the constant moving of the goalpost instead of asking the question, instead of answering the question. All right, and these Edomites know the truth. They know the truth. This is why they do not allow testing, genetic testing over there in the state of Israel, man. They don't allow that because it will reveal the truth. And many people, of the common citizenship, okay, they went and the few, I should say, not many, but a few of them have went and gotten these tests. And they put out videos like, yo, these tests is coming back saying that I ain't got nothing to do with this place. I don't come back to this place. I come from Europe. I come from Poland. I come from, Ukraine. You see? So, it would reveal the truth, man. And that's not how this lie can be perpetuated. You know what I'm saying? It can't thrive under scrutiny. It can't thrive under truth, man. This is why they always pass laws to make sure that nobody can ask these questions, that nobody can dig deep. You know what I'm saying? Because when you dig deep, then you start finding out that they're not the people. And the world knows this. The world knows this now. But the biggest problem that they have on their hands is the world finding out who are the people. You see? And that opens up Pandora's box. You see what I'm saying? Because as long as it's obscured, as long as it's in the mysteries and everything like that, just in the ether, like, oh, these guys aren't the real people. Well, who's the real people? It's a mystery. It's a mystery. Looking at them right in front of your face. You know what I'm saying? But as long as they can continue to placate, talking about, oh, well, Yahushua had to have been olive colored, and all that stuff, right? So, I think it was another brother who brought out that they did a documentary of some sort, okay, and they showed the Hamites being the Hamites, but then when they showed the Israelites, they showed pale-skinned people, So yeah, these devils constantly lie. So let's take this back a little bit.
This covenant with God, that this people have a moral and legal right to the land.
What about
And
people
so-
who convert to Judaism? Would they have a right?
Well, you've just You've just said
I mean,
that
there are
it's not
converts to Judaism, so
You just told
they
me,
can make Aliyah. They may not have
you've just
DNA.
told me that it doesn't matter. You told me moments ago, trying to keep track,
Okay.
that it doesn't matter whether or not you believe in God or whether or not you practice Torah Judaism or Rabbinic Judaism, which is something else that I don't even know if we should, I don't even know what that means, but it doesn't matter whether you're, quote, a religious Jew or not. What matters is that you are part of the Jewish people to whom God gave this land that extends from the Nile to the Euphrates. And so if you believe that, wouldn't you want to know with a burning passion who those people are? And because of science, we can now know who those people are. So why aren't we finding out?
I guess you could propose a DNA test for everybody who comes here, everybody who lives here. But the point
I'm comfortable with secular nation states where it's none of this is done on the basis of blood. I'm uncomfortable with that. I'll just say that.
But there are people who may not have bloodlines, but who have converted to Judaism. Are they going to be able to live here? Are you going to kick them out?
By your standards, they can't live here
No,
because
I've
you just
never
told
said-
me
no,
that they have a right to live here because God gave them the land because they're the descendants of Abram.
They're the descendants of Abraham. But if they're the spiritual descendants of Abraham and they've now decided that they're converting to Judaism, then do they have a right to live in Israel?
Well, there's a whole legal literature in Israel on that question. And my understanding is that certain types of modern Judaism qualify a person and other types don't. Is that your understanding? But how do we know that Bibi, specifically Bibi's ancestors, ever lived here? How do we know that?
I'm not sure if I understand your question.
How do we know if the prime minister of Israel's ancestors ever lived?
Maybe I could ask you, how do we know they didn't? I mean,
Well, it's on the basis of the claim that they did that all kinds of things happen. People are displaced. There's a money flow. I mean, it's a big.
It's a big difference. All right, it's a big difference. I'm sorry to just interrupt, but this is a big difference, man. What are you talking about? This is a big difference. Entire wars are being waged right fucking now. Right now. Off of the premise that these people belong there and that this is their holy land and it was given to them by God. All right. Well, if it was given to them by God, then there would have to be a genetic composition, all right, that dictates why this is so. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're not a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you see, everybody goes to Abraham. Everybody says, well, if you're a descendant from Abraham, then that means that you belong to the land. No, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. There's an actual lineage that is tracked. Okay? It goes from Abraham to Isaac. Okay? Because if the land was to everybody, then Ishmael could have it. You see what I'm saying? Then Edomites can have it. You see what I'm saying? The Lord narrows this thing down. Okay? It goes from Abraham then to Isaac. All right? The Lord put by Ishmael and chose Isaac. And then from Isaac to Jacob, he put by Esau and chose Jacob. You see what I'm saying? And this land goes to Jacob's descendants. This is Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 8. It says, behold, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land which the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai swear unto your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give unto them and to their seed after them. You see what I'm saying? Let me get this here. That's a lot. All All right, so where am I? Let me go to... No. Slovakia. Damn, I know it's in Isaiah. Let me just look this up. Let's go here. Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 59. Because I'm wording this wrong. And you got to be absolutely precise when you're trying to word this thing. You know what I'm saying? But, so this is Isaiah 59 and verse 21. It says, "As for me, this is my covenant with them." With who? The children of Israel. The children of Israel. Yashar Allah says, "As for me, this is my covenant with them, saith the Lord Yahweh. My spirit that is upon me, my spirit that is upon thee, and my words which I have put in thy mouth shall not depart out of thy mouth, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, nor out of the mouth of thy seed's seed, saith the Lord Yahweh, from henceforth and forever." Okay? So this devil is trying to run all over the place and not answer the question. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't answer the question. If you answer the question truthfully and honestly, then the lie breaks apart, man.
Ever lived.
Maybe I could ask you, how do we know they didn't? I mean,
Well, it's on the basis of the claim that they did that all kinds of things happen. People are displaced. There's a money flow. I mean, it's a big question. A lot hangs on this. Mm-hmm. It's not some theoretical thing like, oh, did my grandparents do this or do that? It's like, no. We have a right to be here because my ancestors were here. Okay, how do we know they were here?
I'm just totally unable to process what you're trying to get at.
You are able to process what he's trying to get at. You are able to process that. But the scriptures say that you're like a deaf adder who stoppeth his ears. You know what I'm saying? La da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to hear it. But you know exactly, all right, specifically what he's talking about. All right, you're not dumb. The audience isn't dumb. You see what I'm saying? But the more that this situation, the more that this conversation is brought up, the more people will question. The more that the bombs are being dropped and the more that war is being waged, people will inevitably ask questions. What is this all for? What's this about? You see what I'm saying? Why the senseless violence? Why is it perpetuating? Why is it continuing? It's persisting year after year after year at this point. You see what I'm saying? People will ask the questions. Why? Because they don't fit prophecy. The scriptures say that when the Israelites are back home, there will be no wars anymore. So why are we still seeing wars ramping up more than ever? You see? Anyone that's that actually has a functioning knowledge of the scriptures, you know what I'm saying, understands that that before the Lord returns, there will be wars everywhere. So if these were the people that was prophesied to be there, are there, then none of this would be happening. The Lord would already be set up. You see, the throne of David would be established. So let's continue. It's almost over.
So this is a small population of people. They have connection to this land, historically, biblically.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
If Bibi's family, we know they lived in Eastern Europe. There's no evidence they ever lived here. He's not religious. But in what sense?
And his name is not Netanyahu. His name is not yet Netanyahu. Benjamin's name is Melchowski. Okay? His name is Melchowski, not Netanyahu. They changed their names in order to sound like they're from there.
This land, historically, biblically.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
If Bibi's family, we know they lived in Eastern Europe. There's no evidence they ever lived here. He's not religious.
But
in what sense?
But ancestrally,
how do we know that? Do you have his family tree? No, we don't.
Do you?
He doesn't. So no one does. That's the point.
But
So
if
how do
there
we
is-
know that he
but
has any
if they
connection
are
to this land at
Jewish,
all?
And if there has been a practice of Judaism and a connection to the language,
But
the
he
Bible,
doesn't-
the land,
His ancestors didn't. He doesn't practice.
You see, but this is the interesting part, because when we the Israelites have a connection to the Bible, to the language, you know what I'm saying, if we have a connection there, all right, and we can prove this, then everybody says, no, that can't be possible. That's not right. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? They have everything to say against the Hebrew Israelites, man. Okay, when we're able to prove to them, even through secular means. Okay, even through artifacts. You know what I'm saying? Just by the fact that these jokers are getting the highest levels of skin cancer over there, proves that they don't belong there, man. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing but sun. It's nothing but sunlight. So of course you're gonna get nothing but skin cancer because you don't belong in there.
Judaism in any rigorous way. His ancestors didn't live here. They didn't speak the language, and there's no evidence they ever lived here. So on what basis does he have a right
very
to be
much
here?
speaks the language. He has fought for the land.
He doesn't speak the language. He doesn't speak Hebrew. He speaks Yiddish. Yiddish is a Germanic form of Hebrew. Like it's just a mixture of a little bit of Hebrew, mostly German, and that's where you get Yiddish. This is not Hebrew. This is not the Lashon Kodash. You see what I'm saying? There's no U's, there's no E's, there's no O's. You see what I'm saying? None of that in the Hebrew language, man.
Family has
I
fought
feel
for
like
the
you're
land.
dodging a
No, I'm not
very
dodging.
obvious question, which is, where does this right come from? And the reason
I've
it's
given
meaningful
you that
is
answer.
because there are a lot of people in the territory that Israel controls today, particularly in the West Bank, who, through genetic testing, we can know their families have been here for thousands of years. We don't know whether they practiced Judaism, whether they were Samaritans, pre-Islam. We don't know that. A lot of them we know have been Christians for 2,000 years. They have less of a right to the land than someone whose ancestors, the only thing we know about them is they lived in Latvia or Poland. They're Eastern European. How does that work?
They're Jewish.
This guy. Yeah, ish. All right, ish is a suffix which means to pertain to or be like. Okay, these are J-ish. They're not the people. They're not the actual descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay. So it's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? It's the end of the video.
By what definition?
They're Jewish by their
But how do we know they have any
ethnicity.
connection
They're
to
Jewish
the
by
Jews
their
of the,
faith.
of
They're
the
Jewish
Bible?
by the connection to the language. Jewish by the connection to the Torah.
Right. Right. So yeah. Let's go here. Bear with me. All right. So this is from the same character that we just saw. Okay. It says U.S. Ambassador to Israel says that Israel could have all of the land promised to Abraham. Okay. The statement has sparked renewed debate over regional tensions and historical claims. Okay. This is why the scriptures tell you in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, which is my favorite scripture, that when, then they that shall see it, okay, they shall be troubled when they see it, man. Let me get that real quick. All right. All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 1. It says, Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. All right. And we are those, we are the righteous man, you know what I'm saying? Lazarus, as you can point back to the parable that Yahweh Shai had given his disciples. Okay. Lazarus and the rich man. So we are that righteous man. And now We, the prophets, beginning with our apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, okay, we are the ones that standing in great boldness before the face of such who have afflicted us, okay, in our captivity here, man, okay, and made no account of our labors. All right, verse 2, it says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. You see, when they truly see what's coming for the Lord's elect, it's going to be a terrifying sight. And they're going to know that they fucked up. They're going to know that they are to blame, okay, and to be held accountable for all of the pain that they've caused, okay, all of the things that they've that they have placed us through, man. You see how they subjugate us to such an extent, all right? And it's not going to go unanswered. You see? So let's get this going with Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 29. It says, happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency. And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee. All right, and thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. So it's about time, you know what I'm saying, for these Edomites to fall, and for the Israelites, beginning with the elect, all right, of the nation of Israel, headed by the 144,000, okay, and King David and Yahushua at the helm. We gonna trample over your high places, man. Okay, the switch is going to happen, man. And the Lord is bringing all these nations down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, okay? And very soon, these nations finna be judged like it ain't nobody's business, man. The Lord's he's about to save us from this place, redeem us from this place. Ain't no spiritual Israel nowhere. It's all according to a bloodline. And that bloodline has been tracked throughout the centuries, throughout the millennia. Okay? And this is what they hate. This is what they hate to admit. Zechariah 9:6. It says, and a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. And that bastard, okay, that bastard is going into these Amalekites who have taken control of the land. Okay? As it's written, Salakia. All right, as it is written in Ezekiel chapter 36, right? Ezekiel 36. Salaki, let me get that. All right, Ezekiel chapter 36. Verse, I think it's around verse 12. Salakia. Let me hit this in. Oh, all right, it's right here. Salakia. So let me just start at the top. All right. Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 1, it says, also thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh power, because the enemy hath said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. And these devils, these Amalekites, who call themselves JWOs, man, they have taken the ancient high places, the Holy Land, into their possession, man. You see what I'm saying? During the Balfour Declaration. Okay? that it was established in 1948. Okay, this was by the will of man. It wasn't by the will of the Lord. You see what I'm saying? All right. Now everything has a purpose in prophecy. Okay, but you don't belong there. It's not about that. You know what I'm saying? Because if that was the case, then how did you get up in there in 1948? Okay, and that very night you had a war. You started a war. Right? Verse 3, it says, therefore prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord power, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. You see what I'm saying? Through their pseudoscience and all this stuff, they have made the world to believe that we, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, all right, Hispanics, and similar Indians are the worst of the worst and at the lowest of the low. You see? Verse 4, therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, to the mountains, to the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys, to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about it. Surely, in the fire of my jealousy, have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea. Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. These are the Edomites. You see what I'm saying? Which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey. You see? The Lord is going to come and jack their shit up, man. Right? Prophesy, therefore, concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains and the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I have lifted up mine hand, surely the heathen that are round about you, they shall bear their shame. The Lord's gonna tear y'all up, man. Gonna tear y'all up. Why? For the controversy of Zion, right? Isaiah 34:8. It says, for it is the day of the Lord Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. You see? So the Lord's going to fight for his chosen people. You know what I'm saying? And y'all are not it. You see? But when you find out the truth, when you see it, as the scriptures say, when you see it, you're going to be troubled with terrible fear. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got some more precepts that I had, but I got to get up out of here, man. This storm's about to brew up. 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 28. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which hath been so long without fruit shall be declared. You see? Let me go up a little bit. All right, I gotta get this one. Verse 27. Okay, 2nd Esdras 6 and 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. And this whole lie that this devil here keeps tap dancing around, you know what I'm saying? This lie has been perpetuated through deceit, and that deceit is about to be quenched. Verse 28, as for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which hath been so long without fruit shall be declared. You see? So, slop. All right, so I'm gonna have to cut that there, man, and get up out of here. But I pray this lesson was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel, man. This has been your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. You know, it's so wonderful watching these Edomites just squirm. and squirm as the truth just inches closer and closer to the surface. You know what I'm saying? Jacob's hand is on your heel, Esau. So, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Once they call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Ruchak Wadash. All right. Shalom to the hopeful elect, man. Peace and blessings to you all. Shalom.